All right, guys. This is page 253 in your book. So you need to have your book out and follow along with me here. We're going to do this just like in class. We're going to do the first couple together, and then we'll move on, and you'll get to do the last few on your own. Okay. So our objective today is up here. Our objective is we will use place value to determine where to place the first digit in the quotient. So remember, your quotient is the answer to a division problem. So we're going to be working on finding the answer. So what this is kind of taking the long division we've been doing in small groups and breaking it down a little farther and just learning more about it. So let's look over here at Victor. Victor took 144 photos on a digital camera. Those photos are to be placed in 6 photo albums. How many will be in each album? So you have your clue word right there, each, telling us to divide. So we know we're doing 144 pictures in the 6 photo albums. So now what they've done here for us. Step 1, use place value to place the first digit. So they drew us a little picture over here using our unit blocks to think about place value. So they have 144 spelled out over here for us. So they have the 100 in this big cube, and then the 10s and the 4s. So look at the hundreds, this big thing right here. When I'm dividing, so when I have down here this 6 into 144, and I have to ask myself, will 6 divide into 100? Now, that's what that 1 is there. So when you're looking at it, and you have this big cube, can I divide that into 6? But the trick is not breaking it up, because it has to stay in its hundreds form when I'm looking at it from here. So 6 will not go into 100 equally. In order to divide that hundreds place in just the hundreds place, not the other places, but just the hundreds, there would have to be 6 hundreds. 6 of these flats that I can divide. Okay. So because of that, I have to go back to something we've learned a lot about. Regroup or borrow. Regrouping is what it's going to be called here. So what I'm doing is I'm regrouping this 100 into 10 tens and then the 4 tens. So now there are 14 tens to share. So all this is doing is explaining the step from where you say, I can't divide 1, so I go over to 14. That's what all this is about. So the first digit of the quotient will be in the tens place. It's going to be in the tens place because I have to move over, right? Just what we talked about. There's not enough 100s to divide evenly, so we're going to look at 14. So now I'm going to divide 14 by 6. So when you're dividing by 6, you should be counting up, okay? So 6, 12, find out where my hands go. 6, 12, 18. 18 is more than 14, so I need to go back 1 to get me to 12. So there are 2 6s. I guess they're solving it down here. So they just solved it here for us. Divide 14 by 6 is 2. Then you multiply. Remember, divide, multiply, subtract, drop down. So you multiply your 2 and your 6 and get 12. Your next step is then to subtract. So 14 minus 12 is 2. Now we move down and divide the ones. After we subtract it, you bring down. They did that here with the arrow. Bring down the 4. So now I have a new number. I have 24. So the 2 tens are now 21s, and you can think of it as just that full 21. So there are 24 ones. So I'm going to divide 24 ones by my original divisor, which is 6. After I divide, I multiply. 6 times 4 is 24. Subtract the ones, so 24 ones minus 24 ones equals 0. So there will be 24 photos in each album. All right, let's go down here and look at example number 2. Maybe if I can get my mouse to work. Okay, Omar has 287 photographs of animals. If he wants to put those photos in 2 groups of the same size, how many photos will be in each group? So you're going to use place value to place the first digit. Look at the hundreds and 287. 200s can be shared between 2 groups. So remember, this 287 is like 2 flats, 8 longs, and then 7 units. So when I look at dividing it by 2, I can divide my hundreds by 2 because there are 2 of them. So divide 200 by 2, and it is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. And then you can just go on through the process as normal. 2 minus 2 is 0. There we go. Mouse wasn't working. Okay, so now we did that. We dropped down. That's important. Drop down. Drop your 8. So now what I'm looking at is dividing this 8, which is technically 8 tens, by 2. 8 divided by 2 is, of course, 4. Multiply your 4 times your 2, and you'll get 8. Then you subtract. 8 tens minus 8 leaves you with 0. All right, so make sure you're just following along, getting this on your own. And what we're really looking at is just thinking about, we've learned about the basics of long division. So now we're looking at that place value just to help keep us organized, especially when it comes to this part up here, knowing where to put your answer. All right, after you divide, after subtracted, we bring down, create our new number, which is 7, and we're ready to go. Maybe if I can erase. I assume you guys can see me not knowing how to use Cami. Need to ask you guys. And I still can't erase. Okay, I'm sure you're all laughing at me. There we go. Okay, now that you're done laughing, we can divide 7 by 2. Okay, so this is another one where you should skip count. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 is too many. Back it up 1, 3. So there are 3 2s in there. So then I'm going to multiply 3 times 2, and that'll give me 6. Then I'm going to subtract my 7 ones from my 6 ones and get 1. Now this is what we've talked about in small group 2. This is your remainder. So this one is going to have a remainder. Remember, you write it just like this. R1, remainder 1. So what that means is there will be 143 photos in each group, and then 1 left over. 1 oddball. 1 poor picture left over. Okay. So you guys can kind of running up on it in time. We'll do these next 2 tomorrow, the 255 and 256. And then what I want you guys to do is 257 and 258 in your book. Okay. So see if I can find what that looks like and show you. And then I'll post the instructions in Google Classroom too. 257 right here. Looks like that. The homework page that you guys are probably familiar with. So just working on the division with those. Specifically, they're going to be these simple long divisions like we've done. and just make sure you're getting the place values correct. Lining them up correctly vertically. We'll work on this tomorrow. But right, like this, right? Making sure your answers are lining up above the correct place value. So if you have questions, please let me know. I will help as soon and as quickly as I can. Other than that, have a great day. Miss you guys.